Yo, 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 what's going on? What's going on? This is the age-old question. What makes a real stud? What makes a real stud? What makes a real stud? Anyway, I'm gonna tell you this, and I say this with all comedy, but when you're talking about what's a true top producer, the number one line we always hear, it's got to be a dog that can outproduce itself. It's got to be a dog that can outproduce itself. That's not necessarily true. And the reason why it's not necessarily true is this. You think there have been some great dogs. You know what I mean? There have been some great show dogs. There have been some very, very high quality dogs. Now, if they produce consistently a notch below themselves, creating other dogs that are very, very nice, then, you know what I mean? They're very, very solid producers. They're very, very solid producers. If you can keep on and continuously produce dogs that are of a nature of a quality like yourself, you know what I mean, or close to you, but never outproduce yourself, it doesn't mean that you are bad studs. Just some things are so phenomenal. I think a dog like King Kamali was one of them that he looks so good. His conformation was so good that to expect him to just produce astronomically a better dog than he was all around, I don't know. It could have been a stretch to produce something close to himself, which he definitely produced some very nice dogs. Was right on. You have a dog like right now, the Bear and Mufasa. They wouldn't be failures as studs if they didn't produce dogs better than themselves. These are two of the best dogs that definitely of this generation, and two of the best dogs that we've ever seen in breed history. So if you look at these couple dogs and they've never produced dogs better than themselves, but I've seen some badass dogs off of both of them, it doesn't mean they're not a producer. My definition of what I believe a producer is a dog that can continuously give you a high quality dog. I think consistency measures up to being a great stud. There are some studs that are very, very much hit or miss. You do a breeding and they'll give you one super dog and the rest of the litter, lands flat. There are some dogs that give you every time like the same look, like Denzel's son Gannicus is like that. You might not like the look of the dogs that he produces, or you might love them. But one thing you're gonna know is that this dog consistently produces the same color, the same look. I mean, all of his kids look like him, which is a very nice thing because in my opinion, he's a very good looking dog. But all of his kids look like him. They have the same features. That excellent, he's probably got a 10 out of 10 type of structure. I mean, just an incredibly beautiful dog all the way around. Just an incredible dog. And he consistently throws this. That to me is like a producer. Remy was that type that would consistently throw his look over and over again with very, very high quality dogs. Remy quite possibly did the both things and outproduced himself and was a consistent producer. And we can go down the line on many of dogs. Gotti, was a very, very solid producer, just kept on producing. That's why you got Gotti line. Cairo just produced. I don't know if Cairo had dogs that looked better than Cairo, but he had a lot of badass dogs. So, that's the equation of where I rate a dog at is your basically your percentage. How often are you producing a high quality level of dog? Now, then we have some studs that honestly, I can hear y'all mouth already. But we have some studs that have been bred a million times, and literally you can only pick out a handful of dogs that you even want to talk about. And in some cases, those dogs aren't even that damn great. I mean, when you have to excuse flaws, or sometimes you bred a dog with a flaw, and he rethrows the flaw, so maybe he's consistent. But I do believe that, you know what I mean, a lot of studs, and the reason why a lot of people are very, very disappointed in their breedings now and are just disappointed overall is because at the same time, we fall for the hype game. We fall for who's supposed to be nice. We fall for, for who's supposed to be a top stud. But if you look in the recent history of all these top studs and you ask for their productions and who is the dogs that's shining off of them, you'll find out that this is one of the reasons why the American bully world is depleted. Most of these so-called top studs have not continued on the legacy. So after they're done, they're not leaving you another top stud or another 2 or 3 top studs that are producing and this and that and the other. They're leaving nothing but, a bunch of breedings behind and a bunch of blood that we're starting to find out is not that great. a bunch of health issues. This is why when you're picking your stud, look at his history more so than one or two dogs. If you go and you're asking for a stud and they're only gonna show you a couple, ask how many puppies he has. And that's easy verifiable, you know what I mean? But how many puppies is this dog? Okay, the puppy got 500 dogs, and you only want to show me 4 or 5 dogs? You only want to show me 10? If you got 500 dogs, show me a quick 25. Show me some heat. You know what I mean? If I'm asking you for 25 dogs, I should be able to ask you for 50. You know, because if you got 500, I'm asking you for 50, that's only 10%. You can't tell me that you can't show me 10% of this dog's offspring that's fire, you know? That's a quality stud, something that they can, that they can show you, I really say that the dog should be batting 50%, but ain't nobody gonna sit there and look through 250 pictures. But, well, I would, but the dog should be, half of this shit should be fired. This should be quality dogs. The dog should be putting down, half of their litters. You want to talk about a top stud, half of the litters should always be like show quality dogs. That's elevating the breed. If you're not doing that, you're not a top stud. Just because you've been bred a million times and you can pull out a few examples doesn't make you a good stud. It's consistency. Y'all heard me use the baseball analogies, but that's what makes you money in baseball. How often do you hit the ball? You don't even have to hit the ball out the park all the fucking time. You know what I mean? A guy who's batting for a 400 batting average, for those who don't do math great, that's only hitting the ball, 2 out of every 5 times. But a guy who's batting 400 and getting a hit 2 out of 5 times could only have 10 home runs in the season, and his value be far, far better than a guy who's batting 200 and getting, 25, 30 home runs, because the rest of the time he's producing nothing. All that other shit adds up to RBIs, which we talking about a different game again, I know. But it's a higher value to be consistent because it's going to stack your program and you're building for the future. So at least you know that the blood that you're putting into your program is very consistent blood, and it's going to allow you to keep on producing, not just chasing a ghost. I don't know if y'all ever hear people talk about, drug addicts or whatever, but they always say, the major drugs, the addict is always chasing that one high. That's the dog game. That's with these studs. They show you one stud, and that's the high. Ooh, I'm going to get something just like him. I'm going to get something just like him. And you breeding and breeding and breeding over and over again, getting high over and over again to try to get that high, but it's never going to happen. That's like a ghost because this dog ain't got it in him to produce anything close to him. Learn how to pick your studs. Look for a very, very consistent stud, and you'll have an opportunity to, do your thing. And if he ain't consistent, don't fuck with him. All right, man. Until next time, much love. Peace.